Grüße aus Deutschland. Greetings from Germany. I'm speaking to you from our little hut here. This is out in the garden. It's about a few minute walk from our apartment. And this is where I like to come to get away from the family sometimes when I need to write, reflect, prepare sermons or seminars. And I thought I would share from here today with you about some of my thoughts about seeing God at work. I immediately thought of a situation that I experienced recently where the German government, the immigration office, sent a letter to somebody who participates in our church community. He is from Iran and has been here about 3 years. Soon after his arrival here, he converted to Christianity, got baptized in the Protestant church. He's been part of our community now for 2 years. And he was actually the reason we started meeting as a group, because he wanted to be part of a worship service that didn't just meet once a month in the church that he had been part of. So I've got to see him grow and change and share about his life and all the struggles he has, and about being an asylum seeker in a place like Germany and trying to get into the university system and all the highs and lows that come along with that. Now, the German government wanted to know, where is he a member and is he active? Well, we don't have membership in our church, so I couldn't write a letter to that, but I could write a letter to his active participation and share some insights into how he experiences faith or the Christian lifestyle in his own life. Now, I thought about this a while, because what is the German government looking for? What kind of boxes are they trying to tick? And how does that compare to how I experience him and what I see as God at work? I certainly don't think the question from the German government was, do we see God at work in Hossein? But that's probably the best answer I could have given, even though it didn't officially check any boxes. I think that's the strange thing sometimes about discipleship. It doesn't quite check the boxes the same way as sometimes we like to organize in our church communities. It's not necessarily membership. It's not necessarily baptism. It's not necessarily tithing. But it's that path we take with others to invite them on to get to know Jesus and to be walking with Jesus and invite them into a new life with Jesus. I can think of many examples of that where I see God at work in people's lives around us, and especially some of the people I've had the chance to disciple. I have a friend who is a drug addict who's been now clean 5 months and has seen remarkable change in his life personally and also in his spiritual life. This week, in fact, he's fasting for the whole week and said he wants to give this week to God. His business is going out of bankrupt, and he's at a position where he's looking for something completely new in his life. I have another friend who 3 years ago was an ardent atheist. Came from a Christian home, but had been an atheist and an anarchist probably for good chunk of his life since he was 16, 18 years old. And in 3 years, he's now changed completely, and we're talking about baptism. See, part of discipleship is the phases of pruning. Things get pruned away in our lives, where there might be growth and change and finding new direction, sometimes even fruit, giving back and really clarity about who we're following. So it's not always easy to know where God is at work, but I see that in the lives of those around us, especially the ones that we invest in. And that's where I've come to really realize that discipleship is investing in other people's lives and patiently walking with them through those different phases if it has to be. There can be fallow times, there can be times of pruning, times of growth, and even times of fruit. I think we often think about discipleship as a destination. And I have not experienced that in many ways in the last while. Extremely blessed and grateful for what I have been able to experience, and come to see this scripture that I wanted to share with you in new light. It's from Matthias. It's from Matthew, and it's just a little snippet in a whole bunch of parables of where Jesus is talking about the nature of the kingdom. And he talks about God's kingdom is like a jewel merchant on the hunt for excellent pearls. Finding one that is flawless, he immediately sells everything and buys it. I think we often think about that verse in terms of the destination. He finally found that pearl. But I think Jesus is also talking about that search going on in his life. And I meet people like my friend who's the addict, or my friend who was the atheist, or my friend who's the asylum seeker, who are all searching for something in their lives. And that is what we get to come alongside with and help them to find Jesus in their lives.